Traders, welcome back to another Relentless recap. It's been a while, but we are back. We are back like we never left, but unfortunately, we are back with a red day. Guys, it's been about 2 weeks since we posted an official recap, right? Since we posted an official recap. It's been a long time. Feels good to be back, and we are going to be back for the long run, right? We're going to look to finish out the year strong. We're going to look to finish out the year with some consistency with these uploads and no more breaks, no more hiatus, no more taking off. We're in for the win and let's get into it. So remember, guys, remember that day trading is risky business. Today's going to be a good example of that. Today's going to be a great day to remind you of how risky it can be and how quickly you can lose money. I know there's a lot of days where it might look easy. You know, you blink twice, you look back. I'm up $500, $1,000, 3 to 4, 5, 6, 7,000, whatever. And you're like, man, this thing here looks like it's definitely an easy thing. But what I can say is that trading is the easiest, hardest thing, right? Because whilst at times it can seem easy when there's a ton of follow through, when it gets dicey, when it gets choppy, we can quickly lose a ton of money. So it's something you got to keep in mind. And, you know, all that is to say is to start off slow, take it easy. You know, make sure that you put in the due diligence, put in the time, put in the work, put in the effort to get to where you need to be. It's not an overnight thing. It takes months, more commonly years. All right. So other than that, remember to stay careful, stay safe with those fake accounts. There's still a lot of fake accounts on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Discord. Remember to be careful with those fake accounts. Now, with that being said, let's jump into it here. So let's look at a couple of different stocks. We traded ZAP, ZAPP, VRPX, as well as SVMH. These were the top three that we traded, and ZAPP was the one that led the way today in losses. We're going to start off down the list here on SVMH and then make our way up. We're going to talk about the patterns, the setups, everything that I was looking at, and where I ultimately got caught in these moves here. So let's pull up SVMH. This one, you know, for context, gave a beautiful move pre-market, starting out around 15 cents, getting all the way up to 36 cents. Very strong move initially. And so coming into the open, you know, I was hoping to see some continuation to the upside and hopefully a push to 50, right? If we could have gotten to 50 cents, that was my goal for this one. And so, you know, I'm kind of just taking it easy, waiting to see a pattern that I know and love. And that's exactly what we ended up getting here coming into 935 area. So we started off a little sideways, we made a move up, but then, you know, right back down. And so this is what I'm paying attention to. Can we get a red to green, right? Can we get a red to green and a move to the upside? Sometimes we'll curl up, see a consolidation, and then the continuation. Either or, right? Either it's right away or that consolidation. And so right here I'm watching and I'm hoping we can hold up the VWAP area, which is this white line, volume weighted average price, and continue to the upside. And so I got in pretty aggressively here, about 24,000 shares, and it did not hold up. It did not hold up at all. I think I tried a couple times initially on the green candle as it was trying to go. Then I got out after I noticed some weakness, got back in, hoping we could hold up on the dip. It looked like it was holding for a second or two, and then started washing out. And that's where I knew I had to cut the trade and just get the heck out of there. So that ended up being a $200 loss. I mean, not bad for, you know, how many shares did I trade? I think, let me pull it up top here. Not bad for the 50,000 shares that I traded in just that one candle or two, right? Kept it tight, all things considered. Moving on to VRPX. This one I would say, you know, is definitely up there in terms of one of the more disappointing ones. Is my E-Trade still open? I think it is. Let's pull it up over on E-Trade. VRPX. This one was a little disappointing because we got halted up. It was called out in the chat, right? It was hitting the Momo Pro scans for a halt. And this is where I saw it, right here. And I knew the resumption time, and for some reason I kind of just was a little out of it, right? When it resumed, I actually stepped off camera for a sec, And I couldn't believe that. I think there was like a minute and 40 seconds when I saw it to the resumption. It felt like 10 seconds passed and it was resuming. So I kind of maybe was lost in space a little bit. You know, one of those things where you got to say to yourself as the trader, hey, this was on me, right? So I kind of fumbled the resumption. I mean, it was a little disappointing because from 89, we went from 89 to a high of 102. And I tried to buy for break of 1, which is not a bad entry here. But for what this stock is, it was a little extended, right? And what we can do here quickly, we can pull this up. This was a little extended because I want to catch the dip if possible. Can I catch the dip if possible? Hold on, let me mute this. Can I catch the dip if possible? I also need to see the time of day, which is around 9:40. So let me just skip ahead to 9:40 just to refresh my memory here. Is this the right one, Zap? Okay, yeah. So it's coming up on the right-hand side of the screen. I think I'm going to try to buy 10,000 shares or close to it, 9,500. So let's see, we resume at 93. Did we dip first or did it continue right away? Yeah, it's going to dip first to 90, 89. Oh my God. Man. This is frustrating to come back and see. See this right here, it's a little frustrating because again, if I'm remembering the halt price, oh man, it looked good. It looked so good looking back at it. If I remember the resumption time rather, if I remember the resumption time and I'm standing here and I'm not moving around, this looked good. That looks pretty good. And so I came back and you know, you can say I'm chasing it here because I didn't get the first entry. But anyhow, as I tried to buy for break of 1 and I'm kind of very late to the show. I should have already been in at 90, selling right here, or looking to, yeah, sell right here, or waiting to see if it goes. If not, to then take profits, or to sell, wait, and then watch to get back in at 01 for the push to 09 if it's going to be very strong. So I bought right here. I didn't get the best fill. You can see I'm getting filled, this thing is coming down, and I made the mistake of buying, or rather, let's say, of selling before my entire position got filled, which gave me an error. So I have to then move my mouse cursor down to the screen below to cancel that, to then come back and sell. So by the time all of that happened, we're at 95 and I'm in at 99, 10,000 shares, 5-cent loss. Not good. But very disappointing, man, because look at how beautiful that resumption was. If I'm here on time, and you know, that's the crazy thing about trading, is that seconds matters, milliseconds matter, right? Every inch matter, because if I'm here and I'm in there at 90, there's no way I could see this being like even if I got a bit of a higher fill, there's no way I could see this like going in the way in which it did. And that's the difference sometimes. Is why they say it's a very close tightrope walk. It's a fine line. All the different analogies out there, because if I'm in at 90, I'm selling up there at 1, more than likely I'm taking this dip here. You know, more than likely I'm taking this dip, right? And it retests the level. Well, okay, maybe I would have lost on this dip, but even if that's the case, I'm giving back profits rather than just, you know, red trade. But this ended up being a little weaker, man. And what was so surprising here is that from 83, just 30 seconds later, this thing got back to 95. You don't really expect to see such a huge pullback hold all the time, but I mean, in this case, it definitely did. And you can see how fast it's moving up, how thin the levels were, which does mean that there's more volatility, a little bit more risk. And so essentially that's how I lost 600 on this one. Man, just a little frustrating to see that first trade, and you know, the first trade is usually the best trade on these resumptions. Kind of botched it. You know, that would have been 950, man. 950 thrown away into the wind for nonsense. As if I have dementia or or Alzheimer's here at this very young age, forgetting that time. Okay, moving on to the next stock, which is, let's come back to Thinkorswim. Oh, Thinkorswim. The last stock, which is Zap. Good old Zap. Good old Zap. I want to show you guys how crazy the level 2 was on this one early. And you know, I was here throughout this move doing other work. I was so locked into the other work that I didn't even, you know, I didn't even look at the chart for hours. So I'm gonna miss this, and it's okay because, you know, I was at my max loss. I wasn't sure if I wanted to come back. I did feel fine mentally, but on days where nothing is working accuracy wise, I ask myself if it makes sense, because sometimes you can come back and just lose more if the stocks are not clean. But you know, looking at the move candlestick wise, I mean, it definitely looks good. It looks like I maybe could have made back some money and went back to flat here for sure. I mean, the pullback here from 85 down to 36. If I'm to capture these clean areas like this, for sure, we're looking good, which I think would have been very, very likely. And then the clean high of day break. So it all started here, moved up, consolidation, big move, and a bit of an uptrending, uptrend here. Can't really call it a consolidation because it's uptrending, but from there we pulled back into the pre-market highs. 832, 831, beautiful bounce right here up to 945. This looks like it was good. Looks like it was good. A few topping wicks though to maybe catch you off guard, but other than these two, and maybe this one, if you're, you know, these three areas I think would have been the biggest areas for me to be careful. But other than that, I mean, it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. We did, of course, wash out right here off this console. But when you get a move, when you get a candlestick like this, it's a little bit more telling that, hey, this consolidation might not continue to the upside. Like, instead of getting a big move up, we're probably going to see that move down. So this wouldn't have been super hard to avoid. And it did give another massive red to green off of that pre-market high. This area here, what time was this? 3:30, 3:20. How's the 5-minute chart at this time? Would it have been worth trying to get in? This is a big level here. At 8, I mean, held up well. The 5-minute chart, we did have a topping wick. See, this is what would have made it a little bit skeptical for me, is that this topping, because a lot of times when we have this weakness here, we just kind of sell off. But the move up was so strong. You know, could we give it the benefit of the doubt? Perhaps, but I for sure maybe would have been a little more passive here. But it's good to see that it held up, and you know, we had the A, B, C, D in here. We had the W, so there still would have been entries for me regardless, right? Whether it's the pivot coming across or the higher low. I mean, this is good. That was good. All right. From there, a nice uptrend into a bigger breakout. Nice. This could have probably got me back to green, I think. I would have needed to be here to see the momentum play out, but it also would have depended on how aggressive I would have been. Like, if because, you know, earlier I'm willing to use 5K size, which I did a few times. But, you know, let's look at the resumption. I was ready, man. Relentless Trader came to play today. It got halted up, I believe, around 52. So let's just pull this up. ZAPP. I actually am curious to see how the community did. Oh yeah, the halt was a little higher up. Underneath pre-market high, that is at 53. So let me show you guys the beginning, right? And then we'll look at that resumption. The beginning on this stock, I mentioned that the level 2 was having issues, like just some strange stuff, man. So I'll show you guys the very first trade that I'm going to try to take into the open. Just strange stuff. I need Thinkorswim to get itself together here, you know? So I throw out my very first order, and nothing happens. Let me make sure to bring this off the screen so we don't have any accidents. So look at where I'm trying to buy. I'm trying to buy between 05 and 710. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. So I have to cancel this order. Let's just look at that one more time. These are the type of nonsense, like, it throws you off your game a little bit, man. Like, I hate to say it, but and I'm the type of person, there is no excuse. There's no such thing as an excuse here. It's like whatever curveball is thrown our way, technical difficulty, internet, market, feelings, emotions, we must overcome, right? We must be fierce in the eyes of adversity. But I will say this type of thing, kind of alters the day a little bit because you start to then think, are we having broker issues? What's going on? So I try to buy even really, I think, because in my head, when I saw it in the moment, it's like, I was trying to be in it like 7. So it comes down, I think, right in this area here. And look at the level 2, right? This is the weird stuff that sometimes happens to the level 2. Like, why is the liquidity like disappearing on the ask? Like, just, strange stuff like that. But anyhow, I try to jump in 705. Oh, whatever. 705 by 710. The order's just sitting there. And let's assume I'm filled at 10. If I'm in at 10, we got 15, 20, 25. We got 26 by 28 right here. This is a nice 15-cent trade. I could have been selling right here, 15 cents, 2,000 shares. Nice $300 to start the day. But nothing happens. And it throws me off so much that even on a quick dip like this, where I could have been trying to get back in, I'm a little bit more skeptical, right? What's going on? Do I need to give the broker 2 minutes to kind of like, shake off the rust from, whatever? All this is what's going through my mind. So I like that dip right there, I would have already bought back like 99. We got 08 by 27. Even if I get filled 08, I'm making 10 cents. There's another $200 gone to the wind, right? If I'm selling midpoint or on the ask, I'm getting a better fill. We got 12 by 25 right there. 14, 18 flashing on the bids. I can't take part in any of these quick trades I could have had because of the nonsense, right? So these are the things that can skew the day a little bit. So I think when I did start to get involved again, it ended up being red 450. I was saying to the audience that if I was to get the trades I was supposed to get, at least we're flat, right? It's a bit of an offset. The discrepancy is not so bad. Scratch trade there. Look at the bid and the ask. Look at the bid and the ask price right here. This is already. Oh, well, where's the time? Well, I guess I don't have a time clock up here, right? This is like close to a minute in, and this is what I'm dealing with. 12 on the bid, 7 on the ask. Like, what is going on? There we go. Finally, it's back. That might be like a DAS issue. 01 by 7. 03 by 98. It's 31. A minute has passed, and this is the nonsense that's happening here. So all of this is me losing vital time, vital data that can help me to make a decision. So I jump in here for push through 15 again. It doesn't quite go. We take a small loss. I think right there I should have sized down too, just knowing how like wacky the day is to this point. Like I should have already said, hey, okay, looks like I did. Okay, 500 shares. I think maybe I'm trying to feel out the orders, get a bit, are the executions working? Is the level 2 working? This is the type of stuff that can sometimes get you. So it looks like 30 seconds passed. It's gonna push through 20. I didn't get to jump back in here 20. The highs were at 28. It rips to 38, 40. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Let me see that again. 40. It looks like I'm gonna try for a retest of 40, a tight hold of 30, 35, and a retest of 40 to see if it wants to push right through 50. This can work if the stock is very strong, but it looks like right here some weakness immediately. So I'm gonna stop out for a loss. Scratch trade plus or minus. What time is it? 6:14. My goodness. I'm gonna try to buy the first proper dip, and I'm gonna get blazed. And then I'm gonna switch over to resumption. 43,000 share seller at 50. Actually, I think I'm gonna try 50. I might have tried 50 because it's holding up so high over time. But right here, if I can get a pullback trade, that'll be great. Because we're a little extended, right? Holding 36 right there. I'll skip ahead for time. Okay, so it drops down. I'm going to try to buy here in the spreads. Of course, I'm going to get murdered in the fill. Oh, no. Limit order. Limit order, no fill. Which is not great right there. I leave the order out. I get the fill at 20, which I thought was good enough for the dip versus the highs at 50. But that was a little high. We ended up dipping to like 05, and I sold where I should have been buying. Yeah. This right here is a little tough because the pullback, you just, some you from 750 you're thinking, all right, 730, 720, maybe 715, 710 even. But when we start to see this, I'm thinking, yeah, this is failing, man. So when I cut the trade 04, where I literally just sold from 04, there's 20 on the ask. Man, we get a nice bounce. 04 right here. It's holding again. We get to 14 on the ask. So two small bounces before it comes down. And then from 80, where it really collapses, it halts down. So the dip did provide two small bounces, but it didn't really crawl back up. We ended up halting down. The halt down was just a disaster. Man, I hate to see it, man, but it's how it goes. 6:55 resumption. How did this go? There's 15. There's 20 by 26. I'm going to watch for the immediate bounce, but I think I was a little too aggressive. It hesitates, so I sell immediately. But of course, getting the fill at 30, selling at 15 is a 15-cent loss. Not great. And the resumption was around 20 and let's say 620, 610. Right here, we got 610 by 620. Selling pressure is light, and I'm not quick enough to get back in. This is me trying to buy for like 20, 25. Instead, I'm in at 33. Right idea, but the volatility of the stock, man, it's moving so fast. It doesn't continue to push. I stop out, take a loss, and then it's going to go without me eventually here. If I'm in lower, I'd be holding it to just see what it does. But, kind of, if I'm in at 33 and we do break below 10, then that's a massive loss. This is the type of stuff that, it's like, this damn stock. Zap. And then now, this red to green was, the chart was so weak on the 5-minute. The bear flag did make the move up. We had VWAP up above us. All these things kind of playing a role into me not being super aggressive coming up because the chart is telling me the stock is weak. And now the resumption comes, and it's that much more of a disaster. Well, it was great at first. We did make a lot of money very quickly and then lost it back. So here's the resumption. We're at 766. It's gonna give a bit of a range. I'm gonna trade the range fairly well. So we have a dip and then an immediate rip. So I'm gonna try here to buy for the highs of 66. I'm in 58, great fill. Right here is where the stock needs to do its thing. 74, just it's not going. It comes back down 39, 40 area. Are we going to get over 70 or not? What's it going to be? I'm going to take this 40 area here. A little high, but 49, okay. Right here again, can we see the move through 70? I'm going to watch to get back in if we can keep holding. 39, 40 area again. I'm going to try again. And right here is where I thought, right here for real. Right here is where I'm like, yo, go time. The way how it bounced up much more aggressively this time. I'm in. All right, 75. We got a small seller. And you can see, these are not really great trades because whilst I'm in, and at least I'm gonna try to be in early. I'm in kind of high. Let's look back at this trade. 39 by 40. It's like we went from 39 by 40, 1 cent spread. The moment I'm gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna go for it, because it's risky here because if it breaks 39, it's gonna flush down. And I'm being ultra aggressive to try to buy early. And still, the freaking spreads go from 1 cent spread to freaking 16, 17, 18 cent spread. And I'm in at 58 when I should have been in at 40. There's 18 cents gone. This is why it ends up not being a great trade. And then now we have a 58 by 74, 18 cent spread. Can't make this up. You cannot make this up. This is complete garbage right now. So we get out at 64 by 74. And right here, I'm going to say, all right, can we see a nice move? If it wants to go through, I'm going to get aggressive. There's 86. Can we hold? 89. I'm going to take the dip around 65, 71 area. And now, can we go? Can we moon? Can we moon? Moment of truth. We got to 82, 87. And the reason I sold there is because once we got to 87, it's like on a normal strong stock right here, I wouldn't even get a chance to see 87. I'm seeing 95, 98, 99, 8, 810, 815. Like why are we coming back down right here? So I'm like, all right, maybe I need to get out. And I'm going to get out. Right here, I'm watching to get back in, though, if it wants to be strong. But then there's 50. This is where I realized, nope, I got to use smaller size. And our support was just 39.40. So there's 39.40. And right here, I'm going to give it a second to make sure it doesn't want to flush. I'm going to give it a second. And the moment I see it like looking to curl back up, I'm going to buy. There's 42. 42 by 50 is where I'm looking to buy. Can we see 60 for a small bounce? I'm in. And there's freaking 12 on the bids, man. Day trading, ladies and gentlemen. Day trading. Getting murdered. That's enough. That's enough. So from essentially flat back to red in one trade. And thank goodness I sized down right here. But where I'm going to sell here down at 710 is where I should have been buying for the move back up. Brutal. Brutalized. That was the day. It's a bit of a longer recap. We're going to shut it down here. 30 minutes, more than enough. But longer, better, detailed, all the meats and bones here. Just to show the people how I ended up going red, really. I don't love to share a lot of archive, but from time to time I will. Back in the days, I used to post archive every day. Full archive, raw archive. But, we've eased off a little bit. But yeah, that's going to do it. Hit that thumbs up. Check out those links down below. If you want to get involved in the classes, if you want to check out the chat room, if you want to check out the scanners, take a look at those links down below. It's been Relentless Trader. Hit that thumbs up for the transparency. You guys know I'm the most transparent trader there is on YouTube, that there is in the universe. I post everything, red, green, in between. Doesn't matter, because you guys know we'll be back. Discipline is the key, all right? Stay focused, stay locked in. Let's do what we must to ensure success.